Om Vasudeva Devam Kamshachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnan Vande Jagadguru. Om Shanti. I salute Vasudeva Sri Krishna, the son of Kangso and Chanura, the demon destroyer of demon, Kangso and Chanura, and the darling of the mother Jasoda, and the world teacher, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. So we are in the 6th chapter of the first, and we are reading the narration of Narada, the great sage, who was telling about his own life's past story, how he became who he is now. And he said that we heard from him that he was hungry and thirsty and entered into a forest, and there his body and limbs was all tired, and bathing and drinking in the forest stream. Then he started in that solitary forest where there is no trace of any human being. I sat under a banyan tree, he said, and I began to meditate on the Supreme Being immanent in oneself, as instructed by my teacher. So my teacher instruction I followed, and I started meditating in my heart, the Lord of the world. Now, little by little, Sri Hari revealed himself in my heart as I meditated on the lotus feet with a mind rendered still in devotion. So, with devotion, we were praying and meditating, and it was the Lord who compassionately revealed his divine presence in me slowly, slowly. And eyes brimming with tears, born of intense aspiration, that is, profuse weeping, the tears of joy or aspiring to reach him. I have not seen you, Lord, please appear, with that type of earnestness. Not light hour, then we also do meditate. Not that. Narada was simply little more than that. Not only more, better. He's crying and weeping in the forest and meditating. I have not seen you, oh Lord, please, please do something. No? And his eyes were full of tears. And God revealed slowly to him. With horripilation all over my body, generated by the intense love. It was such an intense meditation that it went on by the whole body became full of horripilation. And mind was freed from all woes and steep in bliss. No anxieties, no worries. Forget, I'm in the forest. How shall I eat? Who shall I bring? Who bring food? I was praying to Bhagavan God with intensity and with love, and the whole body was in horripilation. I was merged in samadhi. What type of samadhi? In which the dichotomy of the seer and the seen disappeared. Wow. See, people say Vedanta is different, Bhakti is different. Huh? The seer and the seen, the dichotomy, the two, I and I am observer, God is my beloved. I started that way. Oh Lord, He appeared. And how He appeared? He appeared as the absorption in this duality getting merged into oneness. That means Advaita experience, following the path of bhakti. It does not take you in another place and another place. So Ramakrishna said, he didn't quote this verse, but he has experienced and he said that. Beautiful. And if anyone asks, what is that verse? Atmana, Atmanam, Atmastham, Jathasrutam, What I did? Atmanam, my mind, এখানে Atma, one Atma is the mind. Atmanam, Atmanam, myself. What I did? Atmastham. I make it Atmastham. That means stham means sthita, in the Atman. With the mind meditating on the Atman and becomes saturated with the Atman. That means there is all other thing is dissolved into oneness. So that type of experience happened. I got up from my seat, most distressed in mind. And then when the form of the Lord, which thrills the mind, destroys all sorrow, suddenly disappeared from it. I saw that it is as if absorbed into it, and Saguna and Nirguna. And then I saw his divine form, and I was very happy, and suddenly that appearance disappeared. The God who was in the form and the formless suddenly disappeared. And as a result, I was totally lost. No? After such a high experience, people fall into distress. Look at that. Ramakrishna also happened like that. Ramakrishna experienced the experience of the mother, and first experience over. He didn't feel okay, everything is done. He felt more separation and crying and weeping more intensely. So here Narada also had the same thing. I got up from my seat, most distressed in mind, eager to have his vision once again. I concentrated my mind in the heart. My mind in the heart, not here, not there, in the heart. Very important. Where to meditate? In the heart. Huh? And I tried that, but I could not regain the vision anymore, and I became anguish and frustration. While I was thus striving again in that solitary place to assuage my grief, as it were, the Lord, who is beyond all words, spoke the following words in a voice with both sweet and powerful language. What he said? In this birth of yours, alas, you are not eligible to have my vision. Finish. Huh? You got good, but you are not going to get second time in this body. So then another body you have to get. That's why the Lord said that in this birth of yours, alas, you are not eligible to have any more vision. I cannot be seen by yogis who are not completely free from passions of the heart. And you are sinless, oh sinless one, oh Narada. My form was revealed to you just once to increase your longing for it. That's the point. Why this vision came? It gave you to have more longing. As there is a song, যত কাছে কাছে যাব আমি তত দূরে দূরে রবে তুমি. Beautiful song. Oh Lord, as close I go near to you, you recede from me little further and little further. And I'm struggling to reach you, and you are playing with me, and you are trying to recede. So this play, ফুরাবে না আমি ফুরাবো না তুমি. I will be endless, you will be endless. Because I am infinite, you are infinite. Where shall I get you? I am there, you are there. So I and you become one. So that is the language there in the song. Here also, the voice said, One, the yogis are who are sinless, they see me, and abandoning this impure body of yours. This body, how it is impure, still I do not know. He has realized God, and God's vision has happened, horripilation has happened, and he is totally charged in God consciousness, no? Absorbed into it. That's also. Why? You have to get another body. To live in that high platform, your body should be extremely, what you call, equipped to absorb these high emotions, like Ramakrishna body is not a body, ordinary body, no? Though it looks like a body, because to take so much high charges of spiritual currents, samadhi, this samadhi, that samadhi, how many types of visions, experiences, body will shatter. This body, rajas and tamas, yeah? Because it becomes pure though by prayer and meditation. But to constantly run 1000 volt current to a ordinary wire, 10 volt, 6 volt, capacity 4 volt. So,
So for any way, whatever the way you take, you need the same strong body. Like the if you
no,
attain
no,
the
for the world teacher, because Narada will have to sing the glory all through the time. That's why his body, this body will not allow him to be in that mood. So that's why, as I understand,
so when
because
the God realization, my question is when the God realization happens, may it be through bhakti or jnana or yoga. So for each time, any path, you need the equally strong body, or for jnana path, if you
no,
have
no,
a
no, no,
little
no.
bit
Any
bigger
path,
body, will be fine.
I think you get the body when you get that vision, body becomes pure. But this type, if you want to stay in that higher realm, then you need a different type of body. We can understand. After Ramakrishna passed away, all of the direct disciples of Ramakrishna, they had their God vision, isn't it? Not? They had their experiences. But how much sadhana they did to purify, and live their life. Intense period of sadhana in Baranagar monastery, Alambazar monastery, wandering monk in Himalayas, there, that to do good to the world with that body continuously, that's a different type of need. But ordinary person, they can get that experience, come down and live so long, seeing God everywhere, one type. Not to be the preacher of the world. Narada is a rank, different rank. His mission, like Vivekananda, for the mission of the whole world, for the good of humanity. So they have to live long time, timeless period. Then Narada even now is there singing somewhere. We do not hear, but
They
somehow
say like that Naruto is the like media person
world,
kind of
world, world.
journalist. He takes the news from here to there, there to here.
All information and doing God's work all the time, and that's his joy and singing the glories of God. No, we can do God's work, but we know I am doing my work. How much we say God's work, but my I comes up. But when it will be totally doing work and no I, but only God, that is like Vivekananda like person. That's why within the short period Vivekananda did such tremendous transformation in the whole world thought process, is it not? The how. And he said, I will not stop. Even now I shall be, it may be, remember that word, it may be Vivekananda. It may be that I shall cast this off this body like an old worn out garment, one tattered cloth or shirt. I throw away the body. But I shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere until the whole world shall know I am one with God. So he is in mission now, in a subtle way, going to Govinda, going to Dinanath, and going to the heart of, hmm, what do you call, all these devotees. Hey, get up, get up, get up. Oh, is it? Well, is it? Oh, okay. So inspiring. everywhere. Until, how long he will inspire? Until the world shall know. That means each one of us will complete our experience, no? That I am one with God. So it is his mission. So they have no, that's why we ordinary sadhakas has mukti. Because after realization he lives so long, jivan mukta, and when the death of the body falls, he becomes mukta, permanent. Jivan mukta becomes permanent mukta, not to be born. But Vivekananda has no mukti. He will have to work. Now, even now, after he does not want to do work yet, now he has to do work there. So these are the category of Narada. So for that reason, probably that is my way of thinking. I maybe so abandoning this impure body of yours, you will become an attendant of mind, as your mind has firmly been established in me to the service of the holy men through for a period, short period. You did so much service to the holy people. By that, your some pure body has been created. Now you will be again born with a pure body, and now you will be merged with me. But again, when I come again, you will be manifesting yourself. Nothing can distract your intellect that has been established in me by my blessings. This conviction and recollection of yours shall not be obliterated even in such a cosmic catastrophe. So this experience will not go away. You will be able to always remember this union, this experience. But you have to get another body to have constant recollection. Now we'll read from 26. What 26 says? Bodiless, but yet manifesting himself as sound through Akash. I heard this voice. There is nobody. I don't see any human personality, but it is a voice. Swami Vivekananda said, I shall be a voice without form. See the exact language. I shall be a voice without any form. Here, 26 verse says, bodiless, but yet manifesting himself, capital H, as sound through akash of in space. That great being, the Lord of all, now stopped, having said this much. Bas, no more sound. This much I heard, stop. And I was thus the object of divine mercy, bowed my head in salutation before that being whose transcendent greatness surpasses everything great by human standard. So, eschewing my pride, jealousy, and other passions of the heart, I bided the approach of the end of my lifespan, engaging myself meanwhile in loudly proclaiming the names of the infinite being without any sense of shame, in constantly remembering the sanctifying and mysterious doing of the Lord, and in wandering from place to place, free from sorrow and joy in all situations of life. So long he was in the physical body, he started doing, preaching this message of God, the divine glory of the Lord. As you see, exactly you are reading Vivekananda life. After with Ramakrishna having all this ecstasy, then trying to meditate, and but no, you will have to do mother's work. No, no, I cannot do. Well, no, your bone will do. Okay, so stay on. And okay, he did and told his disciples, see that he does not remember his real nature. Then he will give up the body. But he gave up the body at 40, 39 years, 6 months, something. After that, before his death, he says, I will be continuing my job. See, is it not exactly Narada? Narada was in the human body and he got the experience. Then he heard the voice, you will not see me in this body. You will have to another pure body, and there you will remain. That means in the subtle body you will remain, and in that higher plane all the time, but you will be doing the glory of the Lord. So he did that in this Narada did that in the waking, and he continued till the body falls. O Holy One. He is talking to Holy One is who? Who is Holy One? He is talking to the Parikshit. O Holy One, to me, whose pure mind was thus steeped in the contemplation of Krishna, excluding all worldly desires, death came all of a sudden one day. And Narada, in his life, he said, one day death came, and like a spark of lightning appearing in the sky, yeah, a blazing light came, and his body. When that Bhagavati Tanu, the divine body of Shuddha Sattva quality, fit for the service of fit for the service of the Lord. You need a Bhagavati Tanu. God's work is very difficult to do unless body, mind, and soul is so pure. Who can do the best work for the Lord? Which machine is good? Which machine works according to the will of the God of the Master as he wants? Our machines are like we have our ego, we have our buddhi. They say, "Oh, I will do this way." God says, "Do this way," but my ego, I will do this way. What is this? And in engaging into work, I forget God and do what my ego says. And that is not God's work. God's work will be totally perfect annihilation of ego. So that's called Bhagavati Tanu, the divine body. Yeah. So Suddha Sattva body for the fit for the service of God was generated in me, and my body of the gross material elements fell dead on the exhaustion of that quantum of my karma, responsible for the previous embodiment, prarabdha karma. This body, which I got due to my past life's action, and in which life I heard all this divine voice and all these things, ultimately dropped one day, and a pure Suddha Sattva body, Bhagavati Tanu, that was generated, and this old body is dead, gone. That means this gross body was left, and the subtle body, in the subtle pure body, he lived. Now, verse number 30 on page 26 of the Bhagavatam, this book what we're reading. At the end of the creative cycle, when everything was withdrawn into the causal, say this creation was going on, Hinduism idea, it is involution and evolution. The world, as you see, gets involved into God and then evolves from God. That's called creation and destruction. Destruction does not mean loss. Destruction means withdrawal into the cause. And from cause again, everything comes. All again, every day, what happens? Our day is involved into dream. Dream to sleep. And in sleep, there is nothing of the outside world, no? And then from that, when you woke up, what happens? It springs from total dissolution. For me, there is no world when I was sleeping. No dream, no world, nothing. Creation is zero for me. Is it not every night when all of us go to sleep? For you, the creation is zero. Creative world is not there. But when you woke up, everything springs up. How? Cause to subtle to cause, gross. So it was hiding something, it springs up. Like a spring. Your watch, the spring of the watch. Pull it out, it becomes stretched out, and you release. Then what happens? It goes and merges into that 1 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter thin thing. That's the karana. That's the cause. Very little. Who much universe gone. So that situation, the whole universe, because it is individual sleep, no? And when God goes to sleep, what will happen? Individual sleep, my world goes into void, right? Into the causal form. Similarly, God who has created this universe, he goes to sleep. What will happen? the whole creation is withdrawn. And then again he wakes up, everything comes out. So when the dissolution, that means Narayana went into a deep sleep, huh? And then the whole creation was merged in him. And I was also merged there. And when he again woke up, again the whole universe came out, and I also came out. So that is the idea. At the end of the creative cycle, when everything was withdrawn into the causal condition, the supreme Narayana floating in the cosmic slumber on the causal water. That's why in Hindu concept you'll find that there is a big snake and with hoods up, no? And you'll find that Narayana is lying here in sleep. Huh? This is a symbolic idea. That whole creation, water, 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 water. That's why the concept of deluge. When creation is destroyed, it's called everything will be deluged under water. New York will go into water, Los Angeles will go underwater
Very soon.
very soon. I am 100,000 years.
No. They say because of global warming.
Okay. So when? Tomorrow?
No, in 50 years or so.
Acha. By that time we may die. 50 years we will not be alive there. Some people will remain, of course. Anyhow, my point, the concept, even today, when you say it will be all dissolved, it's all water. So he is giving the idea, the cosmic dissolution when it happens. So the whole universe goes to the causal form. And when the Lord Narayana, who is the cosmic God, who creates this universe and absorbs and sustains, so that Narayana lay floating in the cosmic slumber. Our individual slumber, it is a cosmic slumber, cosmic sleep on the causal water, causal C capital, water W capital, and not small pool. Cosmic sun, whole, not earth. All the stars, galaxies, everything is gone. This is the whole universe, the gross universe, all consumed into it. And it's all water, 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 actually. And Narayana is lying there, sleeping. It's a personalizing the creative universe.
Is the water symbolic or is it the water real? What the whole thing is?
God knows.
Don't know.
maybe, may not be. I do not know.
Something like it.
Yeah, but description is like that. I too was withdrawn into him. So I, Narada, was also withdrawn. Where did I go? Into him. Through Brahma, who sought rest in him. Brahma also went into him. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. But here Vishnu is glorified because the Vishnu book. This book is Vishnu is the highest God. So Brahma also entered into Vishnu. No. Other God will say Brahma is the creator. And Vishnu also entered into him. But anyhow, it matters little for us. So these are mythological stories sometimes we don't understand, but there may be some sense. We have to take the inner significance of it. That means whole creation entered into the great personality, cosmic I. And after the lapse of how many? Not 1 year, 2 years. We sleep how many? We sleep how many hours? 5, 7 hours, 8 hours. No? And he will sleep for how many days? He will sleep only thousands of divine years. What is divine year? 1 hour, 1 year. Huh? There 1 day. So our 365 years will be there 1 year. 365 years of us is only 1 year. And he lives for 100 years. Tell me how long is that span? Just giving a big idea of time. Everything was dissolved in that form for such a long time. Because the Lord is sleeping. Okay. So whole world is sleeps. He wakes up, the Lord comes out, everything comes out. We all come out. After the lapse of thousands of divine years, Brahma, the divine years, देखो Brahma, how much is the year, how many years? It will tell us. How many years?
Say like that, one divine year is 360 solar human year.
Oh, to 365 human solar years, I told you. মানে one hour, 1 year
Is there one
is
day?
1 day only. So if one dies someone, no, last 10 years, and if I die now after 10 years, I will meet him there because only 10 days for them. 10 days, he is waiting. He will be there for 100 years. Just a relative. Time is relative, no? That's the point. What is the sign of time? And someone asked Einstein, what is the time? What is your theory of relativity? What he says? What is the answer of Einstein? One student asked him, sir, how do I understand your theory of relativity? That is Majar Golpo. He said that if you have a lover, you sit with your lover and talk for 1 hours and hours. You will think that it is only few minutes. And you don't like something, and you are put into that situation, even 5 minutes will appear to be hours and hours. So that is the time is relative. And numerically, time is the same, but the feeling, is so different. So that time is relative. Human time and forefathers' time, God, deities' time, those were gods. Then the Supreme God, they're all in different level. Time.
Also,
Relative.
in subtle body, I think when we are dreaming, 2 minute dreams.
Our 2 minute dream appears to us as if whole night we are dreaming, isn't it? Or most of the dream, I am dreaming last night, long dream. A long dream, nothing. According to this psychologist, maybe few seconds. No, but it appears such long. So let's say after the lapse of thousands of divine years, Brahma woke up and again started the creative activity when out of Brahman. I too emerged out along with the rishis, and I also came out. I, Narada, came out when God created me. That's why in the Shankara's commentary it is written, Sasha Bhagavan, that Bhagavan, this Sistva Idam Jagat, then first created Marichadin, Rishin, Sistva. They created at the same time the sages like Marichi and others. Then Miss Narada also was created with his creation. Because to show people the path of perfection, to take the path of the world and to take out of the path of that ignorance. Then I, who am devoted to the uncompromising observance of the vows of continence, have been endowed with Mahavishnu's grace. I have been endowed with the grace of the Lord Vishnu, Narayana, with the power to go about. I have been conferred the power that I can go about anywhere I like, in heaven, anywhere, to any person. Everywhere, within the 3 worlds. What are the 3 worlds? Bhur, Bhuva, Swa. Bhum is the earthly planet, Bhuva interspace, and heaven and other areas. So you have easy access to go and station anywhere and give and sing the glories of God. I was given. I, the Narada, was created with the wish of Mahavishnu Narayana, and then I was conferred with this power that I can go to the 3 worlds at will. And everywhere within the 3 worlds, as also beyond it to the transcendental realm. That means Ramakrishna said, no, the king to the king or the inner circle people, they can go to the inner apartments, and to the inmost. So they can go anywhere. They have free access. But a guest outsider They will be only carried up to the parlor where there is a meeting place. We call the living room. They are allowed to go up to living room. But most intimate people, they can come to my room. And they can take to
Bedroom.
his room, bedroom. So bedroom no one can go. But only very close people can go. Guest people can go up to certain level. So Narada is a person very close to God. So he has been conferred with the power that you can go to the earth anywhere in other heavenly spheres and beyond, anywhere. 33 verse. Playing on the veena, he has given a single stringed instrument that's called veena, given by the Lord. And Lord Narayana gave me a veena. That's why this string does not break. Our veena, is the string all the time. You have to change the string, no? In a guitar string or whatever string.
Tanpura.
Tanpura, the single string or multi-string instrument. So, but God has given, so I need not have to change. It continues. What is this? Why it comes in between every day? This is what? Why did you do?
I don't know.
What is that one? Oh, bas, galo. Therefore, playing on the veena given by the Lord Himself and possessing the power of automatically producing the various musical notes, I go about the world singing in tune the excellence of the Lord. My purpose is nothing but to please God, to glorify God. So I go anywhere and I sing the glory of God to invoke spirituality in them. 34. When His excellences are sung, He, the Supreme Lord of endearing fame and sanctifying feet, makes His presence felt in my heart. When I sing the glories of God, it makes my heart filled with joy. I sing for others, but it helps me more. This is the science of spirituality. We think I am giving lecture for you. That will not bear any fruit in any permanent effect. It is I am doing for myself, I am enjoying it. Then it becomes useful. So he said, when I used to sing the glories of the Lord, when His excellences are sung, He, the Lord, the supremely holy Lord of enduring fame, whose fame is limitless, and whose His feet, thinking of His feet, you can sanctify yourself. Sanctifying feet makes His presence felt in my heart. When I sing, I feel that the Lord's feet in my heart. As if promptly responding to a call by one's name. As soon as I call someone, as He will appear, so I call upon the God's name and sing His glories, and He appears in my heart. The description of the Lord's deeds and attributes is the one means, a veritable boat to cross the ocean of samsara for those who are rendered miserable by the desires of the sense objects. That is 35 verse. So, what those who are tormented by the desires, as we are, and hundreds of thoughts and desires, so for them, as soon the description, we think about the glories of the Lord, His pastime, His, his spiritual deeds and actions, that's called the Leela Chintan. We meditate God in three ways. This is called the Leela. Leela means divine sport. As we read Gospel, and when you read Gospel, and now sit quietly and think on the passage, what you read, that Ramakrishna sitting in Dakshineshwar in this small couch, and then the AM came, he saluted and sat, no? Ramakrishna questioning this, and he's singing a song, he stood up, He's dancing like this. Just imagine, huh? This is called the lila, divine sport. If this type of thought is carried in the heart, then what happens? That our desires gets purified. Lower types of tendencies will be gone, will be purified. So he says, men who are constantly now the description of the Lord's deeds and attributes is the one means. There are many means, but this is one means. It's like a boat to take the cross the ocean of samsara, the world, for those for whom who are rendered miserable by the desires for sense objects. In the world, who was really miserable, not satisfied, running after the things of the world. Men who are constantly pestered by passions like lust and greed are never pacified so effectively and readily by yogic disciplines like yama and niyama as by the service of the Lord. You can do practice of yama, niyama. That is the yogic practice. Yogic practice, eightfold practice, no? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. You can follow that path. But here, Narada says they can get a quick success, quick development if they take this path of devotion and think of the glories of the Lord in the heart. Well, actually, I think they say there is a justification. When you try to do jama and following the restraint, this restraint, that restraint, as much as you try to restrain, they make a fight back. No, what? I want to go there. Why you stay? Like a child, no? And they will find an opportunity whenever these children are asked to read or study, and mom gives, hey, now you have to read. No, no toys anymore. No. No. I said, no, I'll read. And as soon as he studies, within a split second, he tries to go again play. So the mind is like that. Mind always runs to run here and there, though we try to meditate, no? But this path of bhakti, you sit and think, allow your mind to play. Hey, go to Dakshineshwar. Gone there? Okay. See that this door towards the Dakshin Mahakali's temple. This is the door towards the Ganga. This is the door towards the Nahavat. This is the door. Just imagine the room condition. See, your mind wants to run. You are giving food to the mind. Mind will go and observe all this. That's okay. You are not saying, hey, mind, sit here. Don't go anywhere. No, you go. Now you go here and there. And then you see sing and dance with Ramakrishna, and Ramakrishna going to the Jhautala or the Bakultala and going to the Pine Groves area or coming back, or she is sitting, Mayhem is following. Just keep the mind engaged in all type of thought. What will happen? You are doing Jama and Niyama. You are avoiding the troubles of Jama and Niyama. Bhakti Yoga in this way to Lila. Lila Dhyanam is another good method for God realization. Yes.
How can you think of all these scenarios if you've never been to Dakshineshwar?
Oh, that you see. Now you can, read from some description.
Or you can imagine.
Or you can imagine.
Pasadena.
No. You can see. Pasadena, you can remember. Swamiji came. Swamiji was sitting here. Swamiji was in the upstairs. He's coming down like that. And this thing happened here. Swamiji went to the Shakespeare Club. That road is there. And the Shakespeare Hall, that club where he lectured is there. You can think so many ways. Or imagine. As I read the gospel, even you don't have seen, you see there is a map given, sketch given. So you think, oh, this is the place like that, Ganga is flowing this way. That's imagination. Main purpose is that your mind is being guided by you, not you are guided by your mind. You are taking advantage of the mind and putting him to work. Hey, think this way, think that way. So he gets tuned to that. And even if it is imagination, right or wrong, but you are keeping him engaged in the Lord's thought. But if someone has seen, it is easier. That's why going to pilgrimage is said it is like chewing the cud. The cows eat as much as they can. No? When they're grazing, when they find grass, they eat as much as they can. And when they come back, and nothing to do, sitting, and then bring out that and chew it again, again, again. That means when you go to any holy place, you absorb all the information. When you come back and sit, then try to think of that and feel that. Then you go to Ridgely. You go to Ridgely and see this is the hall. Swamiji was standing here. This is the photograph taken from here. I can imagine. Western porch where there is a shrine, beautiful porch, and there's Swami Vivekananda stood there, Swami Turiyananda stand there. In this country also there are many places associated with this Swami Vivekananda and the other disciples. So one can think of those things to purify the heart. That will no less than your Patanjali's yoga practice. That's why bhakti practice.
Swami, but this also contains the yama, niyama, and all.
Automatic,
Yeah.
automatic. In reply to your questions, I have narrated to you all the secrets about my origin and my deeds for your satisfaction and edification. Now, Suta said, Suta is the narrator, he now says, after conversing thus with Vyasa, the sage Narada, who was free from all self centered plans and poses, moved on from there, singing the Lord's name to the accomplishment of his Bina. Remember where this discussion was going on? On the bank of the river Saraswati. The Vyasa was meditating, but mind was restless. He was not finding peace. Narada suddenly appeared there because he is endowed by Vishnu to go anywhere he likes. So to help Vyasa, he appeared there and created this. He is instrumental for creating this huge treasure house of spirituality. And he appeared there and then Narada talked. This is a discussion between Narada and Vyasa. So long we read. Now Suta, the narrator, is describing thus this Narada talked with Vyasa on the bank of the river Saraswati, and then he left because his purpose is done, is to ignite the spirituality in others and his purpose. So it says, after conversing thus with Vyasa, it says Narada, who was free from all self-centered plans and poses, moved on from there, singing the Lord's name to the accompaniment of his Bina. He does not need another driver. He can go wherever he wish. He has his own subtle body. He can move here to there. Blessed is that this divine sage Narada. Who says? Suta says. Blessed is this narrator, saying, blessed is this divine sage Narada for singing to the accompaniment of his Bina, the single instrument, about the excellences of the Lord. He himself is ever inebriated with divine love, and he enlivens the joy, the hearts of beings distressed by the woes of the world. So, that is the greatness of what you call the Vyasa, Narada, that he is free soul, he only moves for the good of others, and he had this discussion with Vyasa and then he left. Now, the seventh chapter, 10 minutes are there, we can read. If you have any question, get ready, then we can stop when questions start coming. Otherwise, I'll read another 10 minutes. So the seventh chapter now. So seventh chapter, Nirgate Narade Suta Bhagavan Badarayana Shuto Bangs Tadavipretam Tatakimo Karadvimu. It says, Sanaka said, what he said, what did the great and holy sage Vyasa do when Narada had departed after giving him advice? This is a question, no? You said that then Narada left and Bhagavan Vyasa was meditating. What he did after that? He started meditating or did something. So that description is now coming, verse number 2. Sutta Uvacha. It is the narrator talking. What he said? Brahmanadyang Sarasatim Asramam Paschime Tate Sammaprasa iti Prokto Rishinang Satravardhana Tasmin Sa Asrame Vyasa Badari Khandavannite Asino Upasmisyo Prani Pranidodho Manasayam. So this is the verse number 2 and 3. 2 says, Sutta, the narrator says, on the western bank of the Saraswati river, which is the sort of main holy, which is the resort of many holy men, there is a specially sacred spot called Samya Praso. What is that Samya Praso? Name of the place. Samya Praso. Most suited for the spiritual retreat. So he is giving an example that the Vyasa, then there is on the bank of the river. So on the western side of the bank of Saraswati, there was a resort where only holy people sit there, meditate there, pray there. So that was most suited for spiritual retreat. Sitting in his ashrama at that spot, beautified by the groves of Badari tree, the sage Vyasa entered into samadhi after observing the purificatory rites. There, that means the Vyasadeva, the composer of this Bhagavat, he then entered. It is not that he started writing something out of his mind, no? He started meditating. So these are products of meditation. That is the beauty of these scriptures, spiritual texts. We write books, no? If someone wants to write books, he will take 10 books and collect all this and read this, read that, reference this book, page number 210, this way, volume, this number, this, and compose something. He is not, that is not the earlier style of writing this spiritual text. So Vyasdev then, in his mind, purified and made concentrated through divine love, he had the perfect vision of Supreme Being and the power of Maya dependent on him. So he meditated, he started doing samadhi, practice of meditation. And as he was such a developed holy person, Vyasdev, is because it is purified and made concentrated to the divine love, he had the perfect vision. He had the vision of whom? Supreme Being, that is the Lord. And the power of Maya dependent on him. It is by the power of Maya that Jiva, though he is in reality the free spirit, mistakenly considers himself as body, the product of the three gunas, and invites all the sufferings of the life of samsara. So he has the vision of the Supreme Lord, God, and also Maya. And this Maya, for ordinary people like us, makes us forget about our divine glory and makes us engage in the world. So here, he also realized that the panacea for these sufferings caused by avidya, ignorance, generating aspect of Maya, is devotion to the Lord. So, how can you cross Maya? By having devotion to God. So, Vyasa knows that. That illumined sage, therefore, composed the Bhagavat Puranam, known also as the Satattva Samhita. It is another name, Satattva Samhita. This book's name is Sa Tattva Sanghita. Remember, Sa Tattva Sanghita. It is Bhagavat, but another name is Sa Tattva Sanghita. Scripture of devotion. For the benefit of man, for the good of what? Why he, not only for Vyasa's own joy, but he composed it for the man groveling in the ignorance of his spiritual nature, to teach him that bhakti is the one means by which the darkness of ignorance can be dispelled and the spiritual glory of the jiva restored. We can get back to our spiritual glory. That's the bhakti path can take, and he started composing this. So meditated, God appeared along with Maya, but this Maya is helping Vyasa to compose this. Maya binds us in ignorance, but for Vyasa, because his Lord is pleased, no? If the Lord is pleased, everyone is pleased. So when Narayana appeared before him, so Maya Shakti also came, but Maya became a helper for the good of humanity, so that others, like people like us, can get beyond Maya. So this book, this text, Sa Tattva Sanghita or Bhagavat has been composed. Even by starting its study or by listening to it, the mind of man develops bhakti. It's what we are doing now. This verse says, seventh verse, 7th chapter, 7th verse says, even by starting its study or by listening to it, the mind of man develops bhakti, devotion to the Supreme Lord, and which destroys all the sorrows, infatuation, and fear. If one with love and devotion listens to this, it creates devotion in the heart, which can destroy all our suffering, all our infatuation and fear. What then to speak of devoted application to its study or hearing? If one does with much devotion, what will happen? It will happen much more. Even one does not do anything, just listen to it. It will generate little devotion in their mind. But one who is consciously making an effort to listen, to read this book, study this book, and then meditate on that with love and devotion, surely it will do greater effect. After composing the Bhagavata and carefully revising it, the sage taught it to his son Sukha. So this was composed by then whom? Vyasa, and revised it, any correction, addition, alteration. And then after that he taught this entire Bhagavata to his son Shuka. And then Shuka told this entire story to Parikshit. And Parikshit's conference room, there was this Sutta, the narrator was sitting there. He heard it. And he gave this entire memory to his future narrator. And that narrator is telling me. So it is going like this, this, this. But message is the same message what was experienced by Vyasa. So this is the verse number 8, and 9 will start next day. Okay? 9 verse will start. How and why Shuka learned the Bhagavata? The question is that why Sukadev make an effort to learn this? It was necessary. Why did he do? So it is 9 verse will start. Saunaka Uvacha.
So that is 1.10.9.
1.7.9. 1.7.9 will start. We finished 8.
Swami, in this, the Narada goes in a subtle body and helps people in the meditation. So can we assume that Thakur and Ma, like whoever you are worshipping, or will also help? And I think they will help in the meditation.
Yeah, they are only for that purpose. That's why they don't have any freedom. They have no mukti. because they are responsible for helping the humanity. So it is not ordinary jiva will be happy if they get mukti like us, no? But these great world teachers, they are not at all free to get this because it's not so easy, and because they will have to purify the whole world. Come on.
So if we ask for guidance, definitely they
এই
will help that.
চলে গেছে আচ্ছা is not কমল চৌধুরী বলে না and this is the thing.
Yes.
So one question, is not lila dhyana contrary to the statement yoga chitta nirodha? Where do we draw the line between imaging in lila dhyana and stopping thought bubbles in yoga? Yes, that's true. It is the question is that when you are not to mix up two philosophies. If you say you follow this yoga path, you do that path, and then there will be all will be britti, no britti, make it britti free, no ripple, no wave in the mind lake, make it all clean as yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is nirodha or restraining of the vrittis, the ripples and waves in the mind lake. Follow that. But when you are trying to follow that path, even that, you are thinking ultimately of what? Many thoughts. How to drive away other thoughts? As Yoga Sutra says, any other thought comes, drive away. And there are methods of driving away. But here it is, we are taking the bhakti path. We are thinking of God. Vritti, even chitta vritti nirodha is the ultimate state. But people start with some vritti. You think of your Ishta Devata. Is it not vritti? But it's Devo vritti. Not other vritti, but one vritti of God. And then that vritti will also end. So when disturbed mind is there, then it can be leading to the Eka vritti. You are thinking of Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna's all divine play. What will happen? Then ultimately it will end in Ramakrishna. And then your mind will be stationed in Ramakrishna to meditate upon that. But if you want that only yoga path, then you follow the path. You see, that's also path. But if you want to take advantage of your disturbed mind to rest and to arrest it and guide it, you can take advantage of that. So we can take advantage of that, and ultimately, yoga chitta vritti nirodha is the last stage. When your vritti is perfectly nirodha, tada drashtu sarupa avasthana, then the witness who is seeing the vritti ripples. I am meditating, I am seeing in my mind vrittis. No? And all these vrittis will then wipe out, and I will remain in my divine self. So that will come ultimately, but we are talking about our present condition in which our mind is restless mind. Those mind is very concentrated, they can follow the steps given in the yoga path. But those who are in devotion, they can take advantage of yoga path also. That means it is not in one moment automatically this bahuvritti to ekavritti. Tadakara karita chitta vritti udeti. Then thinking of one idea, one spiritual entity, your mind becomes colored in one way, one way, one way, one way. And that one way will ultimately, if all distractions gone, if it is one, and that one will also dissolve automatically. So that is the yoga path. So it is a help to yoga path to control the mind when it is running in 10 direction. So that way it can help us. Your question that imaging in lila dhyana, stopping thought bubbles in yoga. If stopping thought bubbles will come at a climax point. but we cannot do it at the beginning. But anyhow, if you have to follow the yoga path, follow that path. But bhakti path can help us in the yoga path also, so that you can bring one idea about God and God and God only. God's Leela. Huh? That's the Leela Dhyana. Now, as we said, Rupodhyana, Rupodhyana, thinking of the form of the divine, no? Krishna, Rama, Buddha, whatever is your meditation, Mother Kali or Shiva. So meditate on that again and again. Make the divine form in your heart, no? So this is one vritti. Bring that vritti. Vritti means ripple of the divine. As we do our every, it's called rupadhyana. That's why we say, if you cannot meditate, watch. Keep your eyes open and see your ishta and close. Try to feel. That means you are making one vritti instead of varied thoughts. But if you cannot do that, then you can take this advantage of this path for some time. And when mind becomes concentrated, then you focus on your Ishta Devata. If it is Krishna, Krishna. It is Rama, Rama. It is Rama Krishna, Rama Krishna. Do that and focus there, focus there. And then take this path, ripple will automatically be ripple free. Another question. Are Narodiya Bhakti Sutra and Bhagavat considered Shruti or Smriti? No, though this is Smriti Shastra. Shruti, Bhagavatam is Smriti Shastra. Shruti is the Upanishads. Shruti is, there is talking about the absolute Brahman, one without a second, and all these things. Eisho, Keno, Kato, Mundako, Chandaggo, Brihadarana, all these called the Upanishads. Bhagavat falls under this Smriti Shastra. Okay? Hmm.
No more questions.
So, our questions are done. So, we'll see you
7:30.
next at 7:30 p.m. class on Shanti Gita, the Song of Peace. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu